Welcome to the World of Warships with Captain Yamo. I am your host, Captain Yamo, and this is the Tier 8 Fubuki, which is currently naked of any camouflage. There we go. I'm actually paying the cost of the $22,500 credit, whatever you want to call them, camouflage. It gives you a plus 3% bonus to hiding, a plus 4 increase, or and suddenly I can't do math. I'm only half Asian, so usually I get my math from the other side. Um, it increases the difficulty for the opponents to hit you by 4%, and I believe it also gives an XP bonus of some kind, like plus 50% or something like that. So why not? It's only 22,000, and as long as I do some decent damage, it'll work out for me. So let's see what we're looking at here. Okay, so we got a Tier 9 match going on. We got the two Taihos, the Tier 9 Japanese carriers. And then our team has an Iowa, a Colorado, a Nagato. And then the enemy team have two North Carolinas and a Colorado. So we'll see how this plays out. I've got enemy destroyers of Fubuki, a Tashkent, and a Hatsuharu. So right now what I'm doing is I want to get some eyeballs out here at the front side of A for my destroyers, which looks like I got the Iowa and the Nagato following me, as well as the Mogami. So we'll see what we can make of this. Now I don't always fire my torpedoes off in one solid group. The reason for that is I believe that if you do that and your opponent makes even minor adjustments to their direction of travel, that you're just going to end up with a missed shot. And it'll be 9 missed torpedoes in the case of the of this guy. Or this gal. She's got 3 torpedo launchers that have 3 tubes each, and is quite capable of some pretty massive hits. Not the hugest fans of destroyers after they kept buffing the accuracy of all the enemy vehicles. The accuracy was buffed out to 8 kilometers. I've talked about that before, and then it makes it so much more difficult, especially at the higher tiers where your destroyers really can only get to within about 6.5 to 7 kilometers of an enemy battleship or something before being spotted. Alright, now that we have that grabbed and we have the friendly cover of a bomber overhead, I'm going to see if I can't line up some shots on this hipper. But she seems to be turning in. Yeah, so I'm going to get spotted very shortly. Now I dumped that shot way in front of her in the hopes that she would try and take that inside corner of that island there, but I wasn't lucky there. I mean, sometimes getting a decent hit on somebody with torpedoes is about luck more than anything. Especially when you're not really watching what they're doing and trying to figure out how to get those torpedoes in the area they're going to be in. No hits on the Colorado. Your general tactic in a Japanese destroyer, since your guns are not your primary armament, is going to have to be these kind of ambush attacks with torpedoes. And because I like to do these ambush attacks, I don't like to fire off all my torpedoes at once. I like to keep some in reserve for the just-in-case moments. There we go, got one hit at least. We're going to come about and start trying to re-engage these guys here. So another thing that you have to get used to doing is you have to get used to predicting where your enemies are going to go. And of course, you know, look at how the Colorado's set up. He's got his guns over his starboard side, so I would imagine he's going to turn to port to engage. See? Oh, there goes the turn. There goes his turn. I don't know how far to port he's going to go. I don't know if he'll try and get around behind that island or not. It's a good thing I held off on that shot. I might be hitting my Mogami right there, huh? Well, here comes some bombers, so that could be some trouble for me. And there goes the Mogami. And we're going to come about again. Charging enemy ships in a destroyer, you do that from behind an island, or you know, you do that when you have some good cover. In a situation like this where I have multiple enemies all lined up on us, I like to actually take my shots on them in turn. I don't like to shoot at just one ship because you just can't be certain that you're going to do any good with that. And so I pick different targets, and I really do like to pick targets that are, say, ahead of other people, or I like to shoot when they're lined up together. So in this case, when I have a bunch of ships moving in concert, it makes it easier to do this kind of harassing torpedo fire into them. Or a torp wall, if you want to call it. But it's really only possible when the enemy all stick together and then they don't dodge. It looks like we might get hits on the North Carolina. Nope, maybe not. That's pretty far away. Oh, I was looking at the wrong set of torps. Nope, no hits. Set somebody on fire, though, so that's always fun. That's always a nice little bonus, isn't it? I'm glad that Admiral Hipper didn't detect me sooner. I'd have been trouble. But now that he has spotted me, time to put some of the guns to work. See if I can get myself into a position to get out of here. Because those things can pour on the fire, I'll tell you. Oh, like that. Wanted to put that fire out immediately. I don't want to live with that fire. Because they can do a ton. Look at that. Ugh. And see, he took a pretty radical turn to the left. And now he's no longer under threat of any of my torpedoes. I'm pretty sure he's safe from them all. And those were fired at 3 kilometers, you know. You can't really get much closer to an enemy ship. And so, you know, you need to be able to predict the random turns they might make in order to hit them. And it's pretty frustrating. There comes the kill. Ooh, got lucky. Are we gonna get an edging video? Am I gonna edge the Fubuki now? We'll see. Ooh, I got one on the Colorado. The unintended target. Can't fire because the rune. And I think as a destroyer captain, you really do have a responsibility to ensure that you're not sending torpedoes at friendlies. It's really not acceptable. Now, hopefully that North Carolina kept running straight and dumb. If she did, then that'll be a hit. It doesn't look like she did. Looks like she's well ahead of them. So not straight and dumb. And look, we're dwindling down further and further. Right. Well, you know, again, you do what you can, and you hope you win. That's the best you can do. And I'm radar detected. Awesome. Can't use smoke to get out of the radar detection because it'll spot you anyways. Yeah, I'm really not a big fan of how the new mechanics are gonna affect destroyer players. It's gonna be really rough getting anything going. And it's just gonna keep me from playing the destroyers. Really. Why do it? They can spot you with their hydroacoustic search. Of course, that's fortunately that only works out to about 5 kilometers or whatever. But now you have to deal with this this radar crap. And then I would hope that Wargaming would plan on having shadows behind the island. So if that hipper on the other side was the one with his radar on, hopefully there's a shadow there that should have prevented him from spotting me. But who knows? Who knows how they're doing it? We'll have to wait and see what they say in the forums. I'm pretty sure that this match isn't going to go great for us at this point. So, let's go over and see how the Mahan is going to do it. There you go, Mahan. And at, with an American destroyer, you have to have a different tactic. If you're going to use your torpedoes, it's definitely got to be an ambush. Because most of the time, your torpedoes don't have the kind of range that you need to even come close to hitting targets. And, when your hits are coming, so I have 3 torpedo hits, and I think only one of them actually hit their intended target. When you're getting hits off your torpedoes because you're aiming at an entire group and you get lucky, that's a game mechanic that has to be looked at. Destroyers are really getting gutted now. It feels like to me, especially with the new radar thing. And I know people think that they're overpowered. I mean, heck, I had that hit on the enemy North Carolina, I think it was, where it was like 2 torpedo hits and I detonated their magazine. But how often do you get that? It's not something that happens very often, and it's so difficult to get yourself into a position where you can do this kind of stuff. that I can't see that I'm going to be playing a lot of destroyers in the future. I'm going to play it a little bit more than I play my carrier. But I stopped playing carriers because it's at some point, it's just not fun. It's not enjoyable enough to even bother doing it. The only reason I still play them actually is I kind of feel like every now and then just the change of pace. Like when I was talking to you guys about the slumps or whatever, just the change of pace kind of helps out. You get to be in the game and you get to do some damage and have some fun or whatever, but you're not in your usual thing. You've removed yourself from that world. Taking a break kind of. But except for the novelty and the fact that eventually I wouldn't mind being able to do some more videos on the aircraft carriers and how to use them for the people that do want to try them, I wouldn't play them at all. So there you go. Not much of a performance on my part. Still almost got 1,000 base credits. So on a loss, that's not horrible. Did 4,000 points of damage on HE, 5,900 points with fires caused, and 1,301 points of damage with the flooding. 34,000 points of damage off the torpedoes, which is nice. Maybe what they need to do is they need to buff the torpedoes and make the torpedoes a little not. I don't think they need to make them faster. I think what they need to do with them is make them do more damage. I think that would kind of make up the difference. At least for when you get lucky, you get your lucky hits in. But right now it's looking pretty bleak in my opinion for people that want to use the destroyers in matches. We got 77,000 credits after repair and refit, and we got 1,469 credits for the bonus off of our camouflage. And so yeah, it's like a 50% bonus off that camouflage. So for a total of 1,469. But it's not looking great for destroyers, Mainly I have my fun in battleships and cruisers now, and that's not how it used to be. I used to really enjoy the destroyers and the cruisers. But it's a balancing act, right? I mean, they're building the game. They did the same kind of thing with World of Tanks. They kind of have to pay attention to what's going on and see what they can do to benefit. I don't think if they increase the XP earnings or the credit earnings that it'll make it more enjoyable to play the destroyers. I think they need to make them a little more stealthy, not a lot, like 10%, maybe 15%. And I think that the torpedoes need to do maybe 25 to 30% more damage or something, to kind of offset the difficulty of getting yourself in a position where you can do something. Maybe they could up the damage from flooding, but that one's kind of debatable too. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I'd like to hear it. I hope to see you on the digital high seas.